Welcome to the weekly live Q&A at Premier Property, and I have questions here that need answering and we're going to answer them right now. Welcome. If you're joining us for the first time, my name is Kam Dovedi. I'm the founder of Premier Property, investor developer over the last 29 years, and what we do every week is we answer questions, and these questions are from our Premier Property community. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you know you can subscribe right now, and let's go into these questions. So first question is asking from Siri. It's saying, many times you mentioned the development costs can be considered to build a house. And I've mentioned around £2,000 a square metre. Is this applicable anywhere outside of London? Siri's asking, am I looking for indicative construction costs per square metre in and around Kent? Can I advise? So what's the numbers? So the number, remember, when you're doing your due diligence, there are different levels of due diligence, and the one thing that, the mistake that many people make is they get too deep into the detail too soon, and the deal wasn't even a deal. So you want a real deal, don't you? So what we do is we find the real deals, which means, my point is, the analysis is really quick. So you want to move the things that are not a deal out of the way, and you want to grab the deal that is actually a deal. So for this reason, we use the number of £2,000 per square metre when we're assessing sites, because in that we've incorporated all the other costs. So the architectural fees, the various reports that you require, the environmental reports, all of that has actually been encompassed in that as a first level due diligence. This way you can very quickly, very easily measure result. You can actually measure your figures, and you can actually decide if something is not a deal or if it is a deal and you require further analysis. So Shiri, it does not really matter where you are in the country. The myth is, north of Watford, prices are keener than they are in the south and in London. In my experience, it don't work like that. In fact, sometimes we even find, because we've got various different areas across the country. So in fact, we've got 3 specific areas: London, the Midlands, and also satellite towns around large cities like London. And each of these areas is like a different country sometimes, and I'm shocked by, how much contractors, charge in the north compared to what they charge in the south. And sometimes it's even more than the south. So Siri, hope that answers your question. Feel free to use that number and get to the next round of your due diligence. And I look forward to more of your questions. So moving forward, let's jump into the next question by Alex Phillips. And question being asked is, hi Cam, we've been looking at PD opportunities. We found a freehold office, and Alex is mentioning that it's a grade 2 listed building. What are your thoughts? Well, Alex, to honour you, sir, what I would say is, if you're looking at permitted development, best bet really is to stay away from grade 2 listed buildings, because what you'll find is, in many cases, you're not able to do what you want to be doing. And even if you are, double your time frame and double your costs for any refurb. So there's so many more deals that you can be doing in a much easier way. So that is what I'm sharing with you here right now, so that you can get even better, faster results. Because you want to get in, don't you? You want to get in with fast results and in an easier way. So there's my suggestion there for you, Alex. You can absolutely do better. Moving forward to the next question is by Cecilia. These are, of course, questions by our Premier Property Inner Circle community. People that are really on it. They're really making property work for them. And the question being asked is, hi Cam, first reception. So she's talking about property. Cecilia's talking about property. Hi Cam, first reception has gas and electricity meters. In converting this into a bedroom, do these need to be moved? What is the cost to do this, and what are the options? So I like your style, Cecilia. 3 questions in one. Let's do this right now. So first of all, you're going to find it's going to be anything between £2,000 to £4,000 to move the meter outside of that room. That's typically what's going to happen, and the electricity board have got to do that, and the gas board have got to do that. So that's what we're looking at. What you can do though is you can actually have those meters in there in that bedroom, provided they are not card meters, they are meters that are, the ongoing meters where you get billed on a quarterly basis, and provided you can get access to that room. So there's what we normally do in some of our properties is we will have one of these break glass, get the key type of scenarios in the lobby. So if access is required into that room, you can get access. So that is one way, another way of doing that. In that case, you can have the meters in the room. And on top of this, you all have to mention this to your tenant that's going to be living in that room. And what we do is we write it in the tenancy. We write it in the tenancy that this is the situation, you're accepting the fact that we may need to enter your room for these reasons, and that is how you can overcome that. And that is even more cost effective because you ain't got to spend that £2,000 to £4,000. And also the tenant is happy because they know what they're getting. Hope that helps, Cecilia. So there it is for you on that one. There's the options. And the third option, of course, is not to use it as a bedroom, which probably isn't an option, right? Because you want to use it as a bedroom. So go for the first two. Loving that question, Cecilia. Brilliant. Right, moving forward, we got Jenny. So Jenny, again, is part of our Premier Property community. Why am I talking like this? I don't know. It's getting so exciting because I love these questions. We get these every single week. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, question is, why haven't you subscribed? If you're enjoying this video, slightly different, but very practical. If you're enjoying this video, subscribe right now. And let's have some fun and let's go for these questions. And let's move forward in your property journey. Let's keep going. Right, so next up we have Jenny's question. And that is, hi Cam, can you please advise me about basements? Basements, right. So let's, what we got here. Recently viewed properties all had basements. Main issue was the water coming through from the street. One house was collecting water in a bucket. Unfortunately, estate agent's lady couldn't answer any of my questions. Shall I avoid the house with a basement, or how do you manage water issues? So Jenny, anything like that, basements can be a real big challenge. There can be a benefit as well in some cases, but majority of them are challenges. My suggestion would be move forward, find something that hasn't got that problem. Kind of marries into Alex's question, find things that you can jump into. There's so much stock out there, where right now you can really be doing great things with in an easy manner. So you can, you don't have to make your life difficult. In my experience, you can make it easier and get an even better result. So from what you're telling me, with all the water going into the basements and all of that, please stay clear, get into a good opportunity where you ain't got that going on. Enough said. Great question, Jenna. I like the way you're thinking though, outside the box, that's for sure. Moving forward, we've got Ellen. Ellen Erickson is asking, hi Cam, I understand leasehold flats do not have any PD rights. What is generally allowed to do in terms of refurb without applying for consent from the freeholder and planning permission from the council? So what can you do? So Ellen, actually, permitted development and the fact that it's a leasehold flat are actually two completely different things. And thank you for bringing up the question, because you're going to help a lot of people, aren't you? Now what we're saying is at Premier, what we're saying is that if you've got control of the freehold, then you haven't got to ask a leaseholder for permission to do X, Y, and Z to renovate or put some PD rights on there or to do something with those PD rights. With a freehold building, you have the control. But with a leasehold scenario, you've got to ask the leaseholder. But the fact is, PD rights might be applicable regardless if the stock is owned by a leaseholder or owned by a freeholder. This is totally independent. However, again, this marries into what Alex has just said. How are you guys doing this? What Jenny's asked as well, and what you're asking. So is the easy entry level. When you've got a freehold, you've got the easy entry level because you can just have a conversation and decide that you can just do it because it's your stock. Leaseholder means there's another barrier, another obstacle for jump through. PD rights may still be applicable in either cases, but with a freehold, you can make the decision. Hopefully you're following what I'm saying, and I hope this makes sense for you. Great question there. So freeholds, brilliant. Leasehold, PD is still doable in either or. Moving forward, we have Anthony Tate. So Anthony, also known as a Sarge. Anthony, brilliant. So Anthony is here. Why is he named the Sarge? Now you want to know, don't you? Right. Question is, hi Cam and team, PD writes, PD changes next summer constitute of the cut-off point, says Anthony, or authority to begin a project, or does it have to be completed? And what is the statute or primary legislation where PD is written, please? Okay, so question about PD. Question, what I'm getting from this, what Anthony's asking, also known as a Sarge, he's asking is, what do we do, right? That cut-off point happens. Let's say you found a property. Does it mean you've got to complete everything? Well, actually not necessarily, Anthony. You've got a grace period. So as long as, now there are, let's clarify this. So there's a number of PD rights that are happening right now. There are a number of PD rights that are new, and there are a number of PD rights that are existing. Some of the existing ones are going to be gone by the 31st of July 2021. They may or may not be renewed, but it sounds like they're going to be gone. But they're here right now. Now, if you can learn how to do this properly, being the key words, you secure a property now, and it's within PD rights, provided you have a prior approval for this, or you've actioned the drawings and so on, and it's been confirmed that, yep, it's all good, you can do the PD rights, then you have a further 3 years thereafter. So as long as you're secured the PD by the 31st of July for the rights that are potentially going to be expiring, which they probably are, because the planners do not like the fact that you could just do what you like, in my experience, as entrepreneurs, which is what you can do with many of the PD rights. So that is a distinction there, Anthony, or the Sarge, as we like to call you, as you like to be called. So you have a further 3 years, sir, after you have secured your PD. Hope that helps. And why do we call Anthony the Sarge? Because he was actually a sergeant in the police force for many years, actually. Moving forward, a little bit too much information there. Moving forward, we got Rakesh here. Rakesh is part of the Premier Property community. And I know Rakesh watches YouTube. And if you're on YouTube, subscribe if you want to. And you can have more of this. Quite entertaining, really, isn't it? Moving forward, it's Rakesh. Come on, get to the point. Do we need building control to get rid of biomass dry fuel heater connected to the chimney in a buy-to-let? Also, do you recommend keeping it as it is for tenants? So, with these kind of things, Rakesh, if you can just seal them off and leave them where they are, that's usually the best case scenario, the most cost-effective scenario, and you're going to be putting in new heating and so on there as well. Building control not really required, provided you are not making any structural changes to that property. Simple as. So, quick, fast answer there. Quick, fast question, quick, fast answer. Thanks, Rakesh. Good question. Moving on, we have Adam Wu. And the last question of the afternoon today. So we have a few characters here. Adam Wu's got actually a very good question here. Very detailed as usual. Being a serial entrepreneur and a man who invests across the country and the world, actually. So we're going to answer Adam's question. Thanks very much. If you're here, feel free to give us a smiley face, thumbs up. Feel free to comment. If you've got any questions yourself that you want to be asking, I'd love to be able to answer some of your questions. I'll do my best for you. Feel free to comment below if you're watching this on YouTube and so on. Happy for you to ask your questions. I will have a check-in. I'll personally look at that for you and do my best to answer those, like what I say. So Adam Wu is asking, can freehold houses already converted to self-contained flats be sold as a separate dwelling under new leasehold, even if the house happens to be a national or local listed building? See, I knew Adam was going to ask a really difficult question, and a really a question that's really deep. But here's the easy answer. So Adam, yes, you can. Provided you own you own the freehold, or you create a company that owns a freehold, you can title split the properties, absolutely. Do be aware of your financiers though, because the myth out there is that you can just get a freehold, you can just title split. But if there's finance involved, really key point, your lenders may or may not allow you to do that. So you do need to be conscious right at the beginning. Start with the end in mind, is my suggestion. So provided your lenders are okay with that, you can do that. You got your flats there. everything as it should be. You can title split that, and you can sell them on separately once you've got the leases. Typical leases, you're looking at residential, 125 years. Thank you for that, Adam. This has been a very exciting afternoon when it comes to questions. Thank you very much. 8 questions, answer there, quick as possible. Love it. I'll see you on the next one, which will be this time next week. And it's Kam Dovedi at Premier Property, helping you to take your property investing to the next level. See you soon.